Hi, thanks for clicking on this video. If you're new, then welcome. My name's Imogen and I make plant-related content every Friday. Today I'm going to be talking about the IKEA greenhouse cabinet, which you can see behind me here. I have made a few videos on this already, including the process of building and customising it, and a tour of the plant growth, which I will link in the cards. But today I want to do a kind of summary overview. So if you're thinking about making an IKEA greenhouse cabinet, then you can make an informed decision. As a bit of background, I built my cabinet back in November 2020, so I've had it for a good 6 months now, including over winter, which was the time that I was most worried about my plants. So I think I'm in a pretty good place to talk about the cabinet. It has held up perfectly over that time. I haven't had to reattach any parts or fix anything other than sporadically cleaning it and filling up my humidifier and obviously watering my plants and other plant care. First of all, I want to talk about the cost. So I have the tall black Milsbo. Since I built mine, IKEA have come out with other glass cabinets, I think in part due to the rise in popularity of these cabinets being used as greenhouses, which is really cool, but I'm happy with my decision of using the Milsbo. The greenhouse itself, for me here in the UK, was £179. Adding in the costs of the wire shelves, the fans, the lights, and all of the screws and stuff, I spent about £300 in total. You definitely don't need to spend that much. You can get these cabinets second-hand, and for customisation, use things that you already have, but you can also definitely spend more. I have an Elec Homes humidifier in my cabinet, which I've excluded from this £300 total, and I've also done a separate video on, and I do think that was a good addition to my cabinet, but as I said, it's not completely necessary. I've seen other people's cabinets with pegboards on the back with more pots hanging off, and also ones where the back is entirely covered in sphagnum moss, which is obviously going to be more expensive than just leaving it blank like I have. Those kind of things do look really cool. I haven't found it necessary for me personally, so if you do get a cabinet, I think it's probably good to just leave it be and see what kind of customisation you want to do before making big changes such as a sphagnum moss wall. Obviously, these adjustments can be added over time and there's no need to do everything all at once. There's also the cost of utilities to consider. I have my lights on for about 8 hours a day. My fans come on sporadically at intervals throughout the day, and my humidifier is always on, but it has a sensor and I have it set to maintain a specific level of humidity, which is about 75%. So it only turns on when humidity drops below that. There's also water, so I have to fill up my humidifier. At the moment, this is about once a fortnight, but it depends on how often I open the doors and if it's really sunny, because in front of me is a big window and when the sun shines through, it decreases the humidity. Next, I want to talk about building. As I said, I have done separate videos showing what exactly I did, but in terms of the process, I didn't think it was that complex. I have built quite a lot of flat pack furniture, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I thought it was okay. I know some people have trouble with the wire shelves and cutting a hole in the metal for wires to go through, but both of those things I thought were pretty straightforward. My boyfriend did help me actually doing those things and also initially building it, and that was helpful, so I think 2 people is going to be easier than just one, but I reckon it's still doable if it's only you building it. Especially now, there's loads of videos on YouTube of people building it, including my own, showing how they've built it and customised the cabinet with lists of products too. So watch a few of those and I think you'll be fine. Thirdly, I want to talk about plant growth. So I haven't done any proper experiments with identical plants and keeping one in the cabinet and one outside. So this is definitely more my opinion than anything scientific. Obviously, it is a more humid environment, so best for aroids and calatheas, which like the humidity and warmth. My Alocasia Red Secret has actually bloomed twice while it's been inside the cabinet, and that's quite unexpected, but shows that it's really happy. And that plant especially has put out lots of new growth, and the leaves are really gorgeous and big. What's weird for me is that I have a few Syngoniums, nothing special, just standard Robusta types, and I have 2 in here, and they're on the top shelf quite close to the lights, and really thrive. But I had another Syngonium which I bought at the same time as one of the others, and it just doesn't like it at all. It went really crispy and the leaves were a bit shriveled, even though it's in the exact same place as the other one. I don't keep my Hoya in the cabinet, and things like Peperomia, Trodescantia, Pothos I found do great without being in the cabinet. So if you've got things like that, it might not be worth the expense of getting a greenhouse cabinet if you found, like I have, that they do fine in your home anyway. If you have things like cacti and succulents, they're almost certainly going to be better off on a sunny windowsill rather than in a really humid environment of the cabinet. Obviously, you are limited in terms of space, so plants might outgrow the cabinet and you might need to reconfigure the shelves to give them enough space. So it's also worth keeping that in mind. I have my larger ones on this bottom section, which takes up half of the cabinet's height. And with my humidifier down there too, it's getting pretty full. So all of that is to say, consider the types of plants that you already have and the ones that you want to get, and whether they will be suitable for the greenhouse cabinet environment. And also if they would do just as well or better in other areas of your home. Because this is an enclosed space and the plants are quite close together, it is a good environment for pests to spread. I haven't experienced that, but I am especially conscious of quarantining any new plants outside of the cabinet for a few weeks before putting them inside. This is good practice more generally for bringing plants into your home, but I think it's really critical to do for a greenhouse cabinet, especially if you've got more expensive types of plants in there. I did have a bit of an issue with fungus gnats, but they aren't harmful, and I just stuck a yellow fly sticker to the inside of the glass. Lots of gnats got attached to that and I haven't really seen many since, but it was an easy fix and I'd take fungus gnats over thrips or mealybugs any day. A couple of additional points: because I have my lights and fans on timers and the humidifier has a sensor, I know I can leave plants in my cabinet and they'll be fine. This is especially important for the more expensive or high maintenance plants such as my Alocasia Friday, Black Velvet, plus my Anthurium clarinervium. It stops me worrying about them and gives me a bit of peace of mind, so that is a really useful aspect for needier plants. I also think it looks really cool. This room is a bit of everything, but I also use it as my office, and when I'm on video calls at work, the cabinet is in my background and people do notice it and ask me about it, which is nice, and obviously I'm happy to oblige and talk about plants. On the flip side, the tall Milsbo is quite a large piece of furniture, so make sure that you've got the space. But IKEA do make other glass cabinets which can be used as greenhouse cabinets, which have a smaller footprint and might be more suitable for you depending on the space you've got. And yeah, I think that's all of my points that I wanted to make about the greenhouse cabinet. If you are considering getting one or already have a greenhouse cabinet, I'd love to know and see pictures of yours. If you're unsure and still have questions, I'm really happy to answer any questions or comments, so just leave them down below. But otherwise, I really hope this video was useful and you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on Friday for another planty video. Bye!